kids. Bump, bada, bump, 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 bump. Hey, today I'm gonna try and show you a way to make your own cornhole game. And we've played cornhole at Kids Place, but it's kind of just a fancy name for beanbag toss. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I used to make the target. First, I started with a pizza box. So it's a good excuse to order pizza too, if you haven't for a while. And I just kind of made my target. I took a permanent marker and I kind of traced it around a bowl. And then I used a serrated knife, which is a knife that cuts like bread and has kind of a rough edge on it. It's serrated. And that's what I used to kind of saw the hole out of one half of my pizza box. Then I took my pizza box after I'd cut the hole out and I used some tape to tape it to another box, and that's going to give it the angle. Remember how cornhole is at an angle, so you can slide your beanbags up, or you can slide your opponent's beanbag off, or they might slide your beanbag into the hole. Because we're just making this game up, you guys can use whatever scoring points you want to. I decided to have 2 points if your beanbag landed in this big circle, and 5 points if you got it into the hole. So I taped it to the other box. When you start playing, and when I practice, I put a couple books inside this box so that it wouldn't slip. If you're at your house and you don't have any boxes, and you don't have a pizza box, and it's not raining, you could just use chalk and go outside and draw whatever kind of target you want on the chalk, and then make a start line and practice throwing your beanbags that way, and you could keep score with however you want it. So that's how I made my target. And you could just make one target because 2 players can stand on one end and you can pick how far apart you want to be from your target. And one person will throw one beanbag and then the other person will throw theirs. So you're going to need 8 socks if you want to play it the true cornhole way. And I think it's probably best, maybe 3 each if you don't have 8 socks. So I used some that were kind of a gray and red color, and then I used some that were white. You're also going to need like split peas or dried beans or dried popcorn to fill your beanbag socks with. For the top of mine, to seal it off, I wrapped a rubber band around it again and again and again. But I also think that you could use twisties, those little ties that come with your Ziplocs, or if you didn't have rubber bands or twisties, you could use string or yarn. Just make sure that it's really tight. I haven't cut the top off of mine, but maybe I'll try and do that now. I also kind of looked at it and thought, ooh, it might be fun to throw with the top on. So you could try that before you cut your top off. And there you have it. I looked on Pinterest and some people were making some beautiful beanbags and sewing them by hand. I'm not a sewer. I don't have any needles and thread here in Scappoose, so I just used socks, and that was kind of fun. But I also thought, let's say you just have white socks. You could take permanent markers or any kind of markers that will stick on cloth and maybe make one decorated with blue and one decorated with black, and then you would have your 2 teams. To fill the sock with beans or popcorn or whatever dried thing you're going to use, I used about a half cup for this one and a whole cup for this one. But whatever you do, I would make them even. I would either make all mine a half cup or all mine a whole cup. And I think a half cup is really actually a good amount. And on this one, I'm just going to use that on the dangly part on because I think that might be kind of a fun way to toss it. But one of the tricks I did is I put the sock inside of a bowl like this, and then I put the measuring cup inside the sock. The reason I did this is because I didn't want to spill beans all over the place. And so when I put the cup, the half cup inside the sock, I didn't spill any beans. And that worked pretty well. I also had a bowl underneath for backup, just in case. Then I kind of squished them into the shape I wanted and got it pretty tight, twisted it, and then you could use whatever you wanted to tie it off. You could use a twisty or a rubber band, whatever you wanted. Then you have your two teams. So really, you can make up your own rules. I hope that you get to order a pizza because you need a pizza box. If you didn't have a pizza box and you couldn't make this slant like I did, like a real cornhole game, you could just use any box and cut a circle out of it or a square and have that be your target and just try and land them in. The fun part about cornhole is that you can try and slide the bean bags up and in, and the pizza box seemed to work pretty well. So I hope you have fun creating your own beanbag toss game. You can call it cornhole. You can call it whatever you want. I hope everybody's doing okay. It looks like we're in for some rain, and this would be a pretty good, fun indoor game, as long as you didn't throw them too hard. So take care, and we'll have another video soon. Bye, Kids Place.